Welcome back, everybody. We are back with another one today. The idea for this video is just, every item's going to affect everything I do. So, I did this in Mario Maker. It's pretty interesting. It'll be more interesting here because it's a lot more chaotic. So, like, lightnings will make the screen smaller, mushrooms will make the video faster. And so, I don't know, it'll be pretty cool. This game has been pretty cool so far. Nintendo has made some questionable decisions thus far because, there used to be when you select courses in online, it's actually different than what you would think because when it's in online, you have the ability to select a random course. And so, that's all good and dandy. But the random courses used to make it so that way you didn't have to play an intermission track. Which the intermission tracks, I've talked about these a bit. It's like the in-betweens, all the courses. Which I think they're cool enough, but it's not exactly that ideal because it's usually just long stretches of land. And it makes it kind of boring sometimes, I'll be real. Most people share that opinion, I think. It makes the game pretty boring because it's just a long stretch of straight road a lot of the time. Versus like this one was selected because it was one of the ones that wasn't intermission, which made it a lot better because it's I don't know. If you play the game, you just realize the intermissions are cool. I don't necessarily mind them, but I don't like how Nintendo made it mandatory for you to do that because it's not really fair. Because why is it? I don't know. I don't get why they're trying to be so restricted with it. There doesn't seem to really be any rational reason for sure. But who knows? Maybe they have some master plan that I just have no idea. I can't imagine they have any good reason for doing that. But I just like being able to play the 3 laps because often you don't get to play the 3 laps, and it's really cool to be able to actually do it. So I don't know. That's an unfortunate communication error. Okay. Okay, back after that communication error. But for instance, like I was just saying, this will be an intermission track where it's just going through through a whole long straight stretch before getting to the actual course. They're fun enough. I do like the concept, but overall they also, it can be kind of boring as well. So, I don't know. It's weird. There's other things that Nintendo does that I don't understand yet, and maybe that's just I don't understand them right now. One of those things being like, there is no Nintendo Switch 2 vouchers. If you don't know what that is, the vouchers on the Nintendo Switch, where basically you were able to get games for a discounted price than what they would normally have been. And that's like for all games on Nintendo Switch. So you could get like 2 $60 games for the price of $100. So if you have a little extra money and you want to get 2 games, you get a $20 discount. Pretty decent. But Nintendo made the choice to make that not an option on normal Switch 2 games. Switch 2 games that are exclusive to the console. Which I don't understand why they did that because it seems like there's no real reason to do that. They must have something going, I feel like. Otherwise, it doesn't really seem like good business moves. Because, while they are technically losing $20 in those, then I don't know. I would assume that they would keep the vouchers, but they're probably just going to make it so that way they are costing just more, like maybe $120. Because the games are like $70, $80 now, compared to the $60 that they always were. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. But, oh, that was a good bomb. We'll have to see how it is. With that, there's also the gold points, which they also removed, which I also don't understand why they did that, because it doesn't really seem like that's grounded in a lot of thought either, and, I don't know, doesn't really make sense to me, but hopefully they're gonna do something about it that's not entirely bad business moves, because it just seems like they don't have a lot of reason for doing some of this stuff, so hopefully they make it a little better. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Because gold points were also great. Cause then you get points every single purchase you make, and then you get a few dollars that are off of your purchase when you end up spending them. Seems like a good choice to me. I don't know. I wonder where they're going with it for sure. They have to have something planned. I don't think that they would just remove them entirely. That doesn't seem entirely Nintendo. I know they're not like the greatest company all the time, but it would seem very out of character to just not have anything. So I don't know. We'll see. And like I said, we spent like most of this time just getting to this course. It took forever to get to this course because we were doing most of it just in intermissions. which they're fine, but it definitely does get old for sure. That said, we are doing fairly decent. I mean, at some point, I mean, I'm definitely not one to do some of the crazy moves. There's some crazy shortcuts people get into that I'll just never be able to do. That they use like the wall sliding, the rails, lots of stuff that is just crazy to even fathom that they even do. But yeah, so a lot of interesting stuff to consider, and they keep updating it. I really hope that they add some DLC, and I don't know, we'll see. Something that I was thinking about that would be such an interesting concept for Mario Kart would be like balance changes. Because, you know, in some games, like monthly or quarterly or whatever you want to do, they have, you know, balance changes for the different mechanics in the game. It'd be really interesting if they had something like that in Mario Kart, because, I don't know, I feel like it would keep the game fresh. You'd have to always keep learning new strategies. It would keep people involved. I mean, I don't know if exactly if it's the best choice, but I think it'd be pretty cool because, I don't know, you don't really think about it, because balance changes sometimes just make the game more fair too, because if you have something just broken, then there's nothing you can really do about it besides just use those broken things. And sometimes, like the golden mushroom is a lot better in this game than it is in Mario Kart 8. It doesn't speed you up more and it doesn't last longer, but things like the bullet bill and the lightning were nerfed quite a bit. And so to have something like balance changes to make it where they observe things every now and then to see if it's fair or not, I think that'd be a cool concept, because I don't know, you never know what new things are going to happen, or if, you know, there's different things that you need to consider before, you know, making changes to the game, because with online content you have the ability to make changes to games to make them better. And Nintendo doesn't often do DLCs. Like, I mean, they add some DLCs, but it's usually paid, and not like quality of life DLCs. I think it'd be cool to have the quality of life updates to the game. I think they did have that for sure too. I feel like they had that for Smash Bros, because that's a more competitive game than Mario Kart for sure. It's definitely more skill based, of course. But I think it'd be cool if they did that for Mario Kart. It'd be a pretty cool concept to have balance changes, just because there's just so many things to consider when making the game, and you can't always know how items are going to be beforehand, so they can always compensate for that. And maybe some people wouldn't like this concept because, I don't know, you get used to one thing and then they modify it and then you have nothing else to look at again. And so I would understand why people might not like that. But at the same time, I think keeping the game fair in the best way possible is important, because some things like the golden mushroom, you can break it. And that's sometimes due to the tracks too, because you can be able to boost across long corners of some intermission tracks and such. Not always applicable, but sometimes it is. And sometimes I think it'd be cool for Nintendo to do some quality of life things like that. Another thing that really intrigues me about the Switch 2 is like the camera, because it is quite the random thing. That and the mouse are just really odd things for Nintendo to include in a console, because I feel like a camera for a console hasn't been a thing since like the Xbox 360 with like the Kinect. I had one of those, and those were finicky to say the least. I mean, they were fun. There were some games that were fun with it, but there's also some that just were about impossible because the Kinect was not a good technology. I mean, it's interesting because certainly it had its moments, but there are some things. I remember like Kinect Adventures on the Xbox 360, trying to like throw a football with like motion controls was terrible. Like with like your body motion, it was bad. But I wonder if Nintendo would ever do something like that with the camera. I mean, obviously technology's changed a lot in the decade that it's been since the Kinect was prevalent. So I wonder if Nintendo would ever do anything like that with the camera. I mean, it could just be purely a social feature to have with friends, and I don't blame them if that's their only motivation. But I mean, I just imagine that there's a lot of things you could do with that that's gameplay based, because I'm pretty sure that nothing's been announced like that. Because as of right now, at least, I know that it's just a social feature, just to see your friends play, which is fun. But I think it'd be fun also to be able to actually have some more things to go along with it. Okay, I'm getting just absolutely ruined here. Again, the items, like I've said, are just brutal. I just got chained together. I got hit by lightning, and then the big person, and then, man. You can go from place to place so fast, that's for sure. do want to say I like these guys here because I feel like those, I don't know the name of the enemy, but I haven't seen like one of those since like a 2D Mario game, like where like they are the main enemy. They're orange and green. They're usually like in the forest levels. I feel like I haven't seen those guys in forever. There's a lot of just like hidden memories I have of just different things in different Mario games because they just appear sometimes and sometimes not. I do find it crazy how like they just randomly include enemies that haven't been seen in like years, like the Cataquack. Like that's like a random enemy like on like beaches and stuff. Like who remembers the Cataquack besides like the small fan base of them, I'm sure. Just a lot of random stuff here. I mean, it's really interesting everything that they do with this game. Like I said, I just hope that they keep continuing to do more. Don't end with it. And as we round out on the final lap here of the final race of the video, I just want to say thank you for being here. If you enjoy, consider subscribing or consider also leaving some ideas down below because I like these ideas. They're pretty fun to do around. And so if you have any ideas in this or Mario Maker, feel free to leave them down below. I will say that, of course, Mario Maker is a very old game. It's 6 years old at this point, which is crazy to me still. But, you know, not a lot of people are online, so I am more inclined to play games where people are online because there's obviously, like, the single-player stuff in Mario Maker, but of course you know that multiplayer is more fun. So, with that, I hope we have a good day, and Team Man out.